Say hello to the Carlos jokes again. So let's get the repeat. Boom! Alright, well, there's gonna be 13 questions again. So hope you guys gonna love some cooler ones. So it should be like Steven Jackson jokes or Monte Ellis's jokes and more. So check it out. What do you call the cutest owner in Oakland? Danny Fanani. Funny thing is, it sounds like Danny Fanani, but it goes by Dan Fanani. Because it's of the name go A-N-E, but it goes Annie. It's a weird pun ever, because I didn't know I was going to say Fanan because it's Dan Fanan, the owner, but as it would have just said, it was like Danny Fanani. But it's really funny when it's used to say because they don't know what that kind of that word says, but it felt kind of funny that word says, and I'm just like as a current franchise fan of the Warriors right there, I would have not liked that guy, but Joe Lacob was the best guy that we've seen today because he's been the best luxurious guy ever seen to win more championships and let that team to move away and skip Oakland, and that's how it goes. Okay, here's another joke. So here we go. Why did the Warriors did not get any playoff runs from 1 year opted? Because they're into Sega games before they sucked on Uranus. Funny thing is that the Warriors doesn't get the playoff run every single time during the 80s and the 90s when Run TMC took over. It's not even big, but the good particular is that Sleepy World and the Cocksucker they just play really worse. Since they've been gone too well before the Sleepy World took it away from the trade since the late 80s, and then after that the 90s took over with Titty Mickey Caucus to took the way for 1 year opted because the reason why they missed the playoffs for some certain reason, but they did that since like when Titty Mickey Caucus took over in 89, and then it was 91, and then 92, and then it was 94 because they didn't get a playoff run since like 92 to 93 because of their injuries. You know what I mean? And it still makes sense to me because Titty Mickey Caucus suckers. You know what I mean? They just don't play very good, So I can hear. Because they can suck their Uranus. And same thing with We Believe, Same thing. No playoff runs around in the Warriors team. You know what I mean? None. None for the Golden State team? None. Okay, here's another joke. What is the name of the arena where the hippies cannot play good until the day they were worse? Horrible worse arenas. Well, it's a name go by Orco Arena, but it doesn't sound like that way. But it's Orco Arenas, but they call it Horrible Worse Arenas. You know what I mean? Because that's what the name goes by. Because I don't get the name because they thought it was Arena in Oakland. Because that name pretty much sucks. Same thing as the original name that was called back then. But feels like to me that Oak Arena was still on current before the Warriors are going to San Francisco. Well, as Chase Center. Well, that's going to be the arena name right here, And that's how perfect he is, That's what I can hear. Okay, here's another one. So it should be a sing-along song and the funny joke. So here we go. Here's another one. What is the Golden State's favorite cereal in Oakland? C is for Captain, J is for Jax. We call it the Captain Jax. He's the shooter because he sucked. He sucked from the wee balls and titties when he started flapping. And that creates Captain Jax. Captain Jax, Captain Jax. He can suck on my dick and some balls and titties. Captain Jax, Captain Jax. He will never better shooter anymore. Captain Jax, Captain Jax. He was just the suckest player in NBA. Captain Jax, Captain Jax, Captain Jackson. Okay. Captain Jax cereal. Taste for complete breakfast. Alright, well, it sounds like kind of like the name that was the other way. That's go by the Captain Jack as a nickname. But It goes by Steven Jackson, but I know it's pretty funny to say that because it's because of the dude he got traded from somebody else that used to be here, but was like Jason Richardson, well, which is Jay Rich. Well, Jay Rich, Jay Rich can suck my balls, but to me, he was not a great player. But he's just a player, just getting the became a sucker. But Captain Jax, I think this is a funny name they used to say. Let's go by Captain Jax and Captain Jack from Steven Jackson. Oh my god, that gives me extreme hilarious. Okay, well that gives me a lot of jokes about the Captain Jacks, as a cereal because if people in Oakland are poor or broke, well, they have to buy it for Captain Jacks for $1 unless the Chokin Steak Worsters had to buy one of them in Oakland unless they had to get some over there and the townshire too, because we don't give it as this and shit about the Captain Jacks, you know what I mean? So I love to make fun of him. All right, let's make another one. All right, so here we go. Why is Jason Richardson and Michael Pierce are related? Well, that's because they both bisexual. Feels like funny to me when they were bisexual, but because they're gay, but could be gay, but it was like transsexual, but you don't want to be that smart ass like the other dude, like Sia Thomas from Detroit Pistons, because I really hate the guy, because that's the only dude I just never liked in the 80s, So I can hear. Okay, let's get another one. What do you call the brewer drink that fills up lots of sodas that can make some and send them for the NBA game? Mountain Dew and wrist by drinks. To me, it's like that name was pretty funny because it sounds like go by Monty Dew Andrews Beatrice. That's a funny name because Monte Ellis was the first name to go by Monty, and when I call him, I say, "Hey Monty, do Andrews Beatrice." That is the reason why Andrews Beatrice can be sucked. Same thing as Monte Ellis because it goes by Monty, do Andrews Beatrice, or buy drinks. That's what it says. It go by Mountain Dew and wrist by drinks. That's what it sounds puns like that way because it gives me funny as a joke because they don't give a damn how Monte was just trying to use that Andrews Beatrice trick, but he's getting off too fast when he was trying to be a weak, because he's trying to be a weak guy, but he was not that a great example player that he can't play, because Stephen Curry, he's even been much better than Captain Jacks and Monty. You know what I mean? Steph, he's the greatest shooter of all time. He's getting control in there, He's getting there and getting there and getting there, He's all over to get to pass Chris Mullin, because also known as the cocksucker. So I'm pretty sure Steph Curry is going to do lots of good 3-points. So I think he should be lucky to get ranked up in the next 2 more years. So don't miss about that. Or maybe next season as well too. So before this team leaves, Should be awesome. Okay, here's another joke. What is the name of the band that helps you to go to the playoffs of We Believe, also known as We Suck Balls and Titties? Fort Minor in this bitch. Well, to me, this group is to me the group that they use the song called "Remember the Name." Well, that reminds it to have that song in the NBA playoffs. That's just gets certain year. That was like 2006, and then it was 2007. Then what was 2008? No, 2008 didn't get exist because the Warriors would have been failed to make it to the playoffs. Because they thought they were going to get more wins like that to beat the Nuggets scores, which is like 50 and up, or because the Warriors didn't get to too much. So that's why they always suck. They always suck balls and titties. But that's the reason why they're just not going big. That's what happens when people leave, also known as We Suck Balls and Titties. It's just they just don't have any good players to keep them, because they should keep Jason Richardson as well, which is Jay Rich. Jay Rich is a cocksucker. He could have been He could have been stayed here without trading for Captain Jack's, because Captain Jack's cereal should have been enough to stay away from that bitch ass cereal. Why all did they have to give to keep that Jay Rich himself? You know what I mean? Because Chris Mullen screwed that trade. You know what I mean? That's why we don't need Captain Jack cereal, because it's a serial killer. That's why.